YouTube, my name's Lance and welcome to Bundy Bears Shed. Well, I suppose hadn't been all that eventful of a week. Yeah, it's been very hot here. Last night the temperature got down to around 24 degrees Celsius. That was as cold as it got. So this morning is very humid and looks like rain's going to pour down this afternoon about 3 o'clock I think. And so anyway, that's just summer in Queensland. So yeah, we all find it a bit muggy, a bit sweaty and all that, but it's only for a few days a year it gets real hot, but we'll just see. It should cool down a bit later. But anyway, while you've got the shed to work in and you're in the shade, you're not out in the sun and you can put a fan on and, well, it's not too bad. Put the radio on and yeah, life's pretty good. But with Christmas coming, we went out to a bit of a Christmas party last night. Pardon me. Yeah, had a few beers in the yarn with some friends and met some new friends and yeah, that wasn't bad fun. Got home at 11 o'clock or thereabouts and I had 10 or 20 quiet beers, you know, didn't overdo it. And this morning I'm noticing a little bit hotter than usual though. But yeah, haven't got a headache, none of that sort of thing, so life's pretty good. Today I'm hoping to get into Judy's chair, the chair that I put on the end of the last video, and I'll get all the metalwork finished for sure, and then depending on what time I finish that and how the weather goes, I'll go to Bunnings and buy some timber for it, and we'll cut the shape for the top to match the cast insert that we found, and yeah, just smooth the edges and get it all ready for a bit of dark stain, and talk to the people down at the paint shop about we'd like to leave the wheels rusty, you know, leave that rusty look, but so people when they sit on it don't get a rusty mark on their clothes. I'd like to seal it up with some type of clear lacquery sort of stuff, but there's a thing we have called X-Troll, and I put it on vehicles and it doesn't mind etching into a little bit of rust, and it puts a clear coating on it, and that may be suitable for this. But anyway, we'll work that out as we go. But last week I didn't mention in Kangaroo Stew that when we were coming home from the train ride, you know, we went up for our Christmas break up for the Rum City Vintage Machinery Club, and on the way home I have a 2-year-old Holden Colorado, a Colorado ute, and I've got it set up with a fridge for camping, and you know, we have solar panels on the roof, and it's we spent a little bit of money on it making it tough. We do like to do beach camping and things like that, so you know, we got a 12,500 pound winch and a bull bar, and we put the 17-inch alloy wheels on it with the, you know, the proper Holden ones, so that it can tow the caravan properly, and yeah, just not be cheap Chinese mags and that on your vehicle. And but anyway, we were coming home from the do, after having a good time, and about 2 or 3 kilometres from here, we turned off the main highway, come around the corner onto one of the roads, and well, my dash on the Colorado lit up like a Christmas tree, and I had an ABS light on, a traction control light on, a brake light on, and ESP service light across the dash, across where the miles an hour or kilometres an hour and that is, and the speedo and the tacho dropped out and wouldn't work. So I had a quick look there. I didn't shut the vehicle down, and everything seemed to be running fine. It wasn't hot, there was no problem, so I drove it home, and I parked it in the front of the house in the yard, and I went to restart it again and turned the key off and turned the key back on, and dead. And it was like when you turned the key on, the dash went out, and it was like you had it in gear on the automatic transmission. They have a good gearbox in the Colorados. They're a 6-speed automatic, and they use the same gearbox. It's a 650 gearbox, and it's the same one they use in like the V8, I think it's a V8 Commodores, and they've adapted the bell housing to the 2.8 litre Duramax. And so anyway, it seemed like that. So I thought, oh, well, I'll unpack a bit of stuff, I'll have a look shortly. So I went out the front, hopped in to have a check and see what was going on with it. It started beautifully. Could not fault it. Yeah, started it a dozen times and not a worry. Yeah, went for a little drive, no problems at all. So I thought, oh, well, we need to go away next weekend. And I thought, well, I'll take it to work for the week. And if it's going to play up, it'll probably play up through the week, go back and forth to work and do a few things like that. So anyway, first day it was okay, nothing out of the ordinary at all. Second day, which would have been the Wednesday, was fine in the morning. I stopped at the service station and filled up with diesel and off we went to work. And that evening when I come home, come out into the car park to jump in the vehicle and take it home, dead as. And I thought, oh gee, I don't know what's going on here. So I have set it up that the auxiliary batteries in the back of the camper, I have an Anderson plug, a 50 amp Anderson plug, and you can plug into the Anderson plug and bring it round like a set of jumper leads and put a bit of a trickle into the front batteries, for starting and running and things like that. So I put that on and I thought, oh, something wasn't right. So I went into the shop, into our Queensland Tractor Spares where we sell our parts and that, and I have a battery load tester there. So I grabbed the load tester, put it on the battery, beautiful. Yeah, it tested really well. So on the Colorado, I worked out if you can hop in under the, in the left-hand front wheel arch, you can pull the flap back and there's the starter. So I thought, well, in that case, I'll short that out with a screwdriver and see if I can trick it. So I put the ignition on and shorted him out, and there it go, wind over, but no way would it start. So anyway, Judy come back. We only live 7 k's away, and it's just, 4 or 5 miles in mile an hour speak, and she come back in and I said, oh, let's try and trick this thing, and I said, when I tell you, you turn the key to start position and I'll hit the starter motor and it might think everything's okay, but we weren't going to trick it that easy. Yeah, it wouldn't play the game. So I thought, oh, I'll bugger it, we'll leave it there and lock it all up, make sure it's secure, and in the morning I'll come in early and I'll have a bit of a look at it. So we left it there. In the morning I come in, hopped in, put the key in, bloody thing started. Perfect. Started and stopped and started and stopped, and I fiddle-farted around with it for quite a while trying to make it do the fault, and it wouldn't. So I ended up bringing one of the parts supply shop to see if they had an OBD2 scanner, so I could plug it into the OBD2 port under the steering column and check the code. So I found myself a nice little OBD2 scanner, and it just plugs in under the console. You can find a plug, a 15 pin plug probably it is, and anyway you plug that in, and it found 2 computers. There's an engine one, then there's another computer, and no code showing. And I thought, the bloody thing. at least you think it would show us a code or something like that. So anyway, I left it plugged in. I left the scanner plugged in, and on the way home, I got about 1 kilometre from work. Lights on the dash lit up. She's like a Christmas tree again. And so I knew it was safe to drive. So I drove home, put it in the car park, in the carport, and the scanner wasn't reading anything. No codes again. I thought, oh, not sure what's going on here. But it's a different system apparently. And so anyway, what I'd read was, I spent quite a bit of time on the internet just scouring forums and things like that, and any problems people had with Colorados. And there's a few knickknacks that people had going wrong, but one bloke said he went and put a new heavy-duty suspension in his Colorado. Then when he was going home actually, all the dash lit up, and it sounded similar to mine, but you can never tell. And what he found was that when they put the ABS sensor wires back on, they hadn't plugged them in properly. And on our Colorado, we've put upgraded springs. We've lifted it about 60 millimetres to give us a bit of clearance, and we've also put heavy duty springs in the front. It's independent front suspension, and in the front we've put heavy duty struts, and the struts are designed to cart an extra 150 kilos. Because we have a steel bull bar and a steel winch in the front, and the back ones are for 600 kilos extra load with greasable shackles and all that. So I thought, oh well, we'll see. So I had the car in the carport, wouldn't start, wouldn't throw a code up, and jumped under the front and unplugged the right hand side ABS sensor and put it back in, cleaned it up, put it back in, no problem at all. But it seemed okay. It was locked in, the little catch that locks the new type wiring in, no problems. And so I did one side at a time, went back, wouldn't start, did the left hand front side, pulled it all apart, cleaned it up, wouldn't start again. And I thought, oh well, since I'd done that, I hadn't sort of turned the key right off and shut the engine immobiliser down. So I shut it all down, locked the car, so it went into so the engine, well, the thing that stops the engine from starting, engine immobiliser was the word I was looking for. Engine immobiliser engaged, and hit the key and opened him up and started it again. Started like a beauty, been great ever since. So it looks like we actually took it out last night, and I said, well, we may as well drive it everywhere for a little while, make sure we're onto it, and in doing that, we think it's good now. It feels good. I'm hitting rough roads and things like that. I'm looking for potholes and things like that just to shake shit out of everything, and it seems good. So anyway, that's been a bit of an interesting exercise. It's been on my mind a lot this week. We used to have old cars, when we were a young couple with a young family. We had old cars, and I was always working on them, and you had no money for new vehicles and things like that, and that was just part of life, and you weren't hard done by. I think everyone was doing the same thing. So, but anyway, nowadays we have all new vehicles. I think we have 4 of them, but they're all reasonably new. We have one older Triton, a Mitsubishi Triton V6 automatic, and it's our beach truck. We go fishing in it. It's an old one, and we lend that to my young bloke and his family just as a spare car. We go and grab it when we like it. We pay all the bills on it. We're pretty kind, eh? But anyway, we have all these new vehicles around to have reliability, and with the Colorado, we had this problem, and then a little while back there was something else, and I can't quite think what it was now. But anyway, we put better fuel filters on to stop anything playing up like that. But yeah, the little collie, it's a tough car, for what we need it for. But it's give us a little bit of drama. But we have new Mitsubishi Tritons too, and dual cabs, and that's as a family car sort of thing. And it's a cracker. It's really nice to drive. I thought they were an odd shape when we first bought it, but that grows on you. And but yeah, the Triton, I'd buy another one tomorrow. And we also have a little Toyota Yaris, and that's Judy's town car, a little run around, pop in a park easy sort of thing. So anyway, too many bloody cars probably, but that's how it is. I like cars, so we've got all modern ones so they don't break down. But anyway, that plan hasn't quite worked this week. I've been fiddling around like anything with it, just trying to make sure it's all safe as houses, and it's a reliable vehicle again. So anyway, we think we've got a reliable vehicle back again. So anyway, time will tell. I'll let you know. A couple of little things we purchased through the week, just normal run-of-the-mill stuff. There's these pump bottles. These pump bottles, a lot of people use them for brake lean, and I suppose every country, every town's got them. And they, I always keep a couple on hand. I put my inox or WD-40 type products in these sort of pots. I have one that's looking to be a bit dicky, and I also put degreaser in there when I'm cleaning my tractors. You put your degreaser in, you pump him up, spray the tractor, and then hit it with a pressure cleaner. So yeah, they're a handy little pot. They have a neoprene ring in them. I know Snap-on make them, Worth make them. This is Boston Mechanics, so I just bought this from our local Burson's store, Burson's Auto Pro sort of thing. So, but they're getting dear now. They're about $45 for a pot, but they do last well. I've never had this brand before. It looks exactly the same as the other ones, but if it's the same, there'll be no trouble. But yeah, brake lean goes in them and things like that. A lot of shops use them for brake lean. So they're a good thing. And the only other little purchase we did that has turned up is a little tubing bender. Now, I used to have one of these with the workshop, but when I sold the workshop to Justin, it went with him. You know, I sold all the workshop equipment, so a lot of this little stuff I have to gear up again. So this is a little pipe bender. You can see a little scale on here for your degrees, and you put your little tube in there, and away you go. You bend him around, and the reason for purchasing this one is on the John Deere tractor. There's a couple of light oil lines that come up the side of the engine, and there's a couple of different sizes. There's 3/16 and quarter. So this does quarter, 5/16 and 3/8, and I have another little one coming that does 1/8 and 3/16, I think. Anyway, it does a couple. It's a real light one, but it hasn't turned up this week. So, and the interesting thing is with this little fella is the first one I bought. We think it's around 15 years ago, and 15 years ago, and it looks very much the same as this one. It had alloy handles. Instead of having a one-piece steel in here, it was a laminated thing, but it was riveted in still. I reckon the rivets on here look a bit weak, but it's one of those things. If we find there's a problem with it, well, we'll just pop that out. We'll make new bolts, or we'll just put bolts and nylock nuts or something like that on it. But 15 years ago, it was $65. In this day and age, $23. So, and it just looks the same. You know, that's a knockoff, probably a Chinese knockoff or something like that. But anyway, we'll just see if it works or not. I think, like all tools, if you buy them and you just go steady with them, you don't rip, tear, bust, and you treat them as they're meant to be used. Even the cheaper ones will go okay. So hopefully next week I'll have the other one. The first line I'd like to do is it's a small oil line that feeds out of the side of the engine block, comes up the back of the cylinder head and feeds into the back of the cylinder head for your rocker lubrication. So it's a little twin cylinder John Deere petrol engine. So hopefully it'll come. I've got this tube here. We buy stuff that's called Bundy tube, and not because we live in Bundy. It's got nothing to do with that, I believe. We could all say it was named after us, but who knows? Yeah. But it's a steel pipe, but it's got a coppery looking coating on the outside, and it's particularly made for brake lines and things like that. So anyway, yeah, it'll be ideal for the job. But I was hoping for this weekend that we'd have the two pipe benders here. I had to get them from separate companies. No one had both of them, sort of thing. So that's how it goes. But anyway, that's what's been happening for the week so far. I might whiz you over to a couple of the airlines where we put those regulators on last week. They turned out all right. The pressure on them, even though we have a higher system pressure in here, I'm finding that I'm not getting full pressure through them. I'm probably getting 60, 70 pound, which for blowing things dry and painting and all that, that's fine. But actually, even for the sanders, that's fine. It restricts flow a bit, but yeah, for the money, they're okay. But anyway, this week I'll just take you and show you those. I'll probably do a fair bit of work on Judy's chair for out in the front of the house. I'll try and get a fair bit of that done, and I should get most of it done today. And yeah, like I said, just do the timber work in the next day or two, I hope, and we can sit out the front like a pair of old farts and watch the world go by, I suppose, and pat the dog, and yeah, I look like a pair of old farts, yeah. Well, we are, so it doesn't matter. So anyway, stay tuned. We'll try and put a little bit of interesting content in, and yeah, we'll just see what we come up with. There we go. For those that are interested, that's Holden Colorado. Now, I believe in America they have a similar vehicle and they call it the Chevy Colorado. But ours has a little Holden badge tucked in down behind the winch there. And anyway, yeah, it's tough enough. We've put the snorkel on. That's a safari snorkel. I think that's an Australian brand. Gives you a high air inlet. So if you go through any deep water or anything like that, it protects your engine. And I've actually, we were going camping one time, we come across this big long puddle, and it wasn't flowing water, but it was just, it had rained a lot, and we'd been on the track a few times, and anyway, I'm hooking along and slowed down and dropped down into it in four-wheel drive, and yeah, I had water up over the bonnet here, no worries, and the water pressure made my number plate stick out front. It stuck out at 90 degrees, and the water washed up over the windscreen. But and our daughter Adele, she was in the beach truck in the Mitsubishi Triton following us, and she thought, well, if Dad got through there all right, I may as well too. So she just followed me in, no worries at all. And when she got out, she was all excited. Oh, wasn't that great fun? Let's do that again. So, but anyway, that's the one that's been giving me a little bit of trouble this week. It's yeah, there's a bull bar and the winch and all that. It's Iron Man stuff we put on it. We've lifted it a bit higher to give us more clearance, and in through the side here. This is where all the fridge and all that stuff sits, and then we actually have a fridge slide here. So you slide the fridge down, press this little button here, and the whole thing slides back a little bit, and that means you can see in the fridge. And that mightn't be that important at this time of day, but later on, when you've had a few and it's dark, it's good to look in the fridge so you don't grab a Coke instead of a beer. So, well, yeah, that's a good little setup. We sleep in the back. We've got awnings that roll out from it, and we've got lights, and this here's a clothesline for duty for when the other awning's sitting out. We've got all LED lights and all manner of stuff, roof racks and solar panels up the top. And I suppose while we're having show and tell, we have a drawer that slides out the back of it, and we use this as a bench top, so we don't have to cart extra benches and gear like that. Then in under here, the bench top opens up, and they're plastic pots with plates and cutlery and all that sort of stuff in it. So yeah, we've set it up for camping, and for what we have set it up for, it's a great thing. There's a little around the campfire thing. That's a Facebook group for camping called Around the Campfire. It's an Australian thing, but yeah, it's a good little social network. Then on the back we have another canopy on that side. I made all that back canopy. I just knocked it up in the shed, and we have max tracks up to the top there, or treads, and anyway, yeah, hopefully we can go camping quite a bit in it, and we do go camping quite a bit. And yeah, a little dog, just Susie there looking after things, and yeah, we have toolboxes with tent pegs and recovery gear and all that sort of stuff in it. So but anyway, that's the one that was giving me the trouble through the week, bloody thing. But anyway, it seems to be on its best behaviour today, so yeah, well, time will tell, I suppose. Well, there you go. We didn't get a lot of content this week, but main thing was building this chair. So yeah, it didn't take a lot of film of doing it, just the main frame. Then we got the timber done, and underneath there's still a stand there, and we're just making something a bit decorative for the back there for it to sit on. But anyway, that's what I did on Monday. Well, that's what I did all last weekend, actually, getting that sorted out. So it's come up nice. But Anyway, not a lot of content this week, but that's a wrap. And yeah, subscribe, click like if you like it, and leave a comment, and we'll catch up with you later.